Here we are in section 3.2 exercises part A with the solutions to number 16 through 21. Number 16, we're still under the instructions to solve. And here, what's our first step? Do we have any parentheses? We do have parentheses right here, so let's distribute to get rid of those parentheses. And that is 5.6m minus 1.6 equals 9.5m plus 1. Do we have multiple m's to get together? We do. We've got a 5.6m over here and a 9.5m over there. We have to subtract one of them off, get rid of them. So let's subtract off the 5.6m from both sides. We could have done the 9.5 and pulled everything to the left-hand side, but we've got to pick one of them. So we subtract the 5.6m and it cancels. And so we are left with, on the left-hand side, negative 1.6 equals 9.5 minus 5.6m. So that will be 3.9m plus 1. Now we've got the m's together, we just need to peel stuff off. The opposite of plus 1 is minus 1, and we end up with negative 2.6 on the left-hand side equals 3.9m. And how do we undo divided by? And how do we undo times by 3.9? We divide by 3.9. Divide by 3.9. So we get m equals negative 2.6 over 3.9. Now that, I'm going to need a calculator for that one right there. In the calculator, negative 2.6 negative divided by 3.9 equals negative 0.67. Hey, wait a second. That is a fraction that we recognize. We could write negative 0.67 or negative 2/3. Let's see how they might have gotten that with fractions. Here's decimals in a fraction. We could times top and bottom by 10, so we could have negative 26 over 39, and those are both multiples of 13, which would simplify down to negative 2/3. So you could have this answer, or that answer. Let's check it in the book. And yep, negative 2/3, or they even wrote this down to help you out, that unsimplified fractions, or the decimal would be okay. Next one. Number 17, 0.2q minus 7 plus 2q equals 3q minus 5. We don't have any parentheses to get rid of, but we do have q's everywhere. Let's put these two q's together. 2q plus 0.2q is 2.2q minus 7 equals 3q minus 5. We still have multiple q's that we need to get rid of, to get together in one place, excuse me. So we've got to pick, should we subtract off the 2.2q or subtract off the 3q? Let's subtract off this 2.2q here minus 2.2q there, and we get negative 7 on this side equals 0.8q, that's 3 minus 2.2 minus 5. Alrighty, now we're down to the point where we just get to peel off to get q by itself. Add 5 to this side, add 5 to this side, and we get negative 2 equals 0.8q. How do we undo that timesing by 0.8? We divide by 0.8. That's right, divide by 0.8. And we'll need our calculator for that. 2 negative divided by 0.8 equals negative 2.5. So q equals negative 2.5. Now you could have times by 10 and had negative 28ths, which would reduce to negative 5/2, which would then be negative 2.5, and that would be okay. All right, number 18. We have 12t equals 45 plus 0.4t. Do we have any parentheses? No, we don't. Do we have multiple t's? We do. Well, let's get rid of one of them over here. Subtract the 0.4t, subtract the 0.4t. And you could have subtracted 12t to both sides. That would have been okay. On the left-hand side of the equation, we have 12t minus 0.4t, and that is 11.6t equals 45. How do we, we've got them together. So how do we get rid of that 11.6 multiplication there? We divide by this 11.6. Divide by 11.6. That will allow the t to be all by itself right over here. T equals, what's 45 divided by 11.6? Pull out our trusty calculator. 45 divided by 11.6 equals 3.8793. 3.88 maybe? 3.88. Okay, let's check our answer. And there was the q equals negative 2.5 and the t equals 3.88. Excellent. They just rounded at one more decimal place than what we had, which is fine. All right, number 19. Now we're going to, looking at this one, we got some parentheses. 6 parentheses, x minus 5, close that parentheses, minus x equals 5x minus 20. Well, let's jump this in, distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So we have 6x minus 30 minus x on the left-hand side of the equation equals 5x minus 20 over on the right-hand side. We've got multiple x's around. Let's simplify what we can. What's 6x minus x? 5x on the left-hand side minus 30 equals 5x minus 20. Okay, we got to get rid of one of those 5x's. Minus 5x minus 5x. And what happens? It cancels on the left and the right-hand side, which leaves us with the equation negative 30 equals negative 20. Well, shoot, I don't like that. That looks terrible. Negative 30 doesn't equal negative 20. That's bad. That never happens, which means that this equation will never be true. So there is no solution. Let's check our answer. Number 19, no solution. Good. Number 20, 9x minus 2, open the parentheses, x minus 3, close those parentheses, equals 15x plus 7. All right, so we have parentheses. Let's take that negative 2 and jump it in, and we get 9x minus 2x plus 6. Pay attention to that plus. That's negative 2 times a negative 3 there. Equals 15x plus 7. Do we have multiple x's? Yes, we do. They're all over the place. 9x minus 2x on the left-hand side make us 7x plus 6 equals that 15x plus 7. Do we still have multiple x's on different sides of the equation? We do. We've got to get rid of one of them. If we choose to get rid of, say, the 7x, we would subtract 7x from both sides. If we get rid of the 15x, we would subtract 15x from both sides. Now, you could have done the minus 7x. That's mostly common there. On the right-hand side, those guys cancel. So we now have 7x minus 15x is negative 8x. Yeah, most people avoid the negatives, but we can do it here. Now that we have the x's all together on one side, we need to subtract 6 from both sides. We'll peel that one off. That guy's gone, and we have on the left-hand side negative 8x equals, and 7 minus 6 is 1. How do we get rid of that negative 8? Well, we divide by a negative 8. Divide by a negative 8. So we get that x equals negative 1/8. And let's check our answer on that. X equals negative 1/8. Good. And number 21. 5x minus 13x plus x equals 7x plus 8x. We don't have any parentheses, but we do have multiple x's all over the place. 5x minus 13x, that's negative 8x plus x would be a negative 7x equals, and on the right-hand side of the equation, 7x plus 8x is 15x. Wow, 7x, negative 7x on that side and 15x on the other side. We've got to get the x's together still, so we've got to pick one of these to get rid of. Let's add 7x to both sides, and we get 0 on the left-hand side. Yeah, those guys go just completely away, equals 22x. And now how do we get rid of that timesing by 22? We divide by 22. Yeah, divide by 22. And we're left with x equals 0 over 22, which is 0. X equals 0. Let's double check that answer. X equals 0.